Good evening, you're now with me, Hendigui for TVS Nightline. On to the headlining stories. Sarawak has set a 6-month deadline for a feasibility study into the state's proposed medical school. The announcement came from Deputy Minister of Education, Innovation and Talent Development, Dr. ANWAR, who confirmed that University Technology Sarawak UTS has already convened, with its Senate green-lighting a dedicated study team.
So they asked us to be given 6 months. We already identified who are there, but I would not reveal it here until they receive their not confirmation. They receive their no. We're going to deliver. We're going to offer to them. So it will be 6 months. So I reckon if we appoint them by December, they will start in January. Yeah. And by June, they should submit the report to us.
Dr. Anwar says 5 experts have been tapped to assess whether Sarawak can establish its own medical school. He notes that Sarawak is heavily reliant on UNIMAS to train future doctors, but enrollment is set by the federal government through the UPU system, a cap that continues to limit opportunities for top students in the state.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim is praising Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Haji Noor, calling him a principled, clean and consistent leader who puts the people first. According to Anwar, in all dealings between Sabah and the federal government, Haji has never once pushed for personal gain. Only the core needs of Sabahan, water, power, roads and the welfare of every district across the state.
Jadi tanggungjawab saya, seperti mana saya sebutkan tadi, pastikan isu-isu basic, air, api, jalan selesaikan. Ada orang kata, aku kalau menang, tahun depan selesai. Tak payah kamu cakap. Sebab memang projek dah jalan, tahun depan akan selesai air. Yang buat siapa? Kerana Persekutuan Perdana Negeri, AJJ yang buat. Aku menang, aku menang, aku menang. Baru nak buat. Kita dah buat. Projek dah jalan. Empangan sudah mau siap. Kalau aku menang, siap tahun depan. Ada dengar macam, ya. Apa ni?
The Foreign Affairs Ministry estimates that fewer than 500 Malaysians remain stranded in southern Thailand due to the severe flooding that has hit the area, with rescue operations continuing throughout the day. Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan says so far 177 Malaysians have been successfully rescued.
Over 700 people were successfully evacuated from Hat Nyai to Bukit Kayu Hitam, including those already in temporary flood victim center. At the end of 25th November, Jabatan Immigration Malaysia recorded 2,204 Malaysians had crossed border at Bukit Kayu Hitam, Sungai Burung and Wan Klian.
Muhammad Hassan adds that the low rainfall on Wednesday had made it easier for rescue teams to carry out their operations and assist those stranded in hotels.
The government has earmarked 7 million ringgit to cover immediate expenses for all states and related agencies to ensure seamless coordination and rapid disaster response. Women, Family and Community Development Minister Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri says the funds channeled through the National Disaster Management Agency will include assistance for the Compassionate Aid BWI payments, which will begin during the 2025 to 2026 Northeast monsoon.
Lebih penting kepada mereka yang jadi mangsa bencana ini, melalui sistem perbankan kita, pembayaran BWI akan dibuat berdasarkan pendaftaran ketua isi rumah mangsa bencana melalui sistem MyInfo Bencana JKM. Bayaran akan dibuat secara terus kepada KIR oleh Bank Simpanan Nasional selaku bank pembayar yang dilantik antara 1 hingga 3 hari selepas PPS ditutup.
Hello there and welcome back. Proton has officially unveiled the new Proton Saga, featuring a series of upgrades in design, technology and performance. The model comes in 3 variants, standard, executive and premium, with prices ranging from nearly 39,000 ringgit to 50,000 ringgit.
However, under the launch rebate period until December 31st, 2025, prices for each variant are reduced to 37,990 ringgit, 43,990 ringgit, and 48,990 ringgit respectively. Since bookings opened on November 10th, the new Proton Saga has received 20,000 orders in just 17 days. The model comes in 5 color options: ruby red, snow white, marine blue, space gray, and armor silver. Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz says Proton Holdings Berhad continues to demonstrate strong commitment to the local supply chain. This year alone, the company has procured 3.2 billion ringgit worth of parts and components from local suppliers. He adds that the growth in Proton's total industry volume and higher local sourcing not only benefit Malaysian suppliers, but also ensure economic spillover remains within the country.
And beyond producing cars, Proton is continuing to strengthen our automotive industrial backbone. So, as mentioned, from EV platforms and powertrain to localization of key components, deepening our nation's competitiveness.
At the launch event held at Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre, MITEC today, he also noted that Proton's investments in electric vehicles and its localization efforts align with the new Industrial Master Plan 2030, or NIM 2030, serving not just as a corporate strategy, but as a key driver of Malaysia's transformation into a high-tech digital nation. The all-new Proton Saga is built on the Advanced Modular Architecture, AMA, a new platform that offers greater flexibility and scalability in line with international safety, performance and emission standards. With full ownership of its intellectual property rights, the platform not only strengthens Proton's engineering capabilities, but also opens doors for future collaboration within the Geely ecosystem, positioning Malaysia as a potential regional automotive development hub.
U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered his special envoy to head to Moscow and negotiate the terms of a peace deal with Ukraine. Steve Witkoff is expected to arrive in the Russian capital next week for a meeting with Vladimir Putin. RT senior correspondent Murad Gaziev has the details.
Donald Trump has come out and said that this was never a peace plan, it was a peace concept, and that the 28 points have become, as a result of discussions with the Ukrainians, have become 22 points. He's also backtracked somewhat on his previous deadline for Ukraine to sign a peace deal that they would work out, that they would agree on by Thursday. Now he says they'll sign when it's done. The deadline is when it's done. Nevertheless, they've had consultations, the Americans and the Ukrainians, but no peace plan has yet been formally handed to Russia to talk about. There have been no official discussions with the Russian side. As of yet, we understand Steve Witkoff is on his way to Moscow to discuss them with Russia's leadership, while Dan Driscoll, Army Secretary, discusses the peace plan with the Ukrainians. And the hope is that they will be able to sort of iron out a deal between the Russians and the Ukrainians that both sides find acceptable. Now, the Ukrainians and the Europeans have made very clear that they are unhappy with, well, what was leaked and what was claimed to be the peace deal or the peace concept. It has, according to them, been changed, but it is unclear whether Russia will find these changes permissible. And, you know, Donald Trump was asked, Ukraine is being told to sacrifice this, compromise on that. What is Russia being asked to compromise on? And here he said, look, their compromise is that they'll stop advancing into Ukraine.
If you look, it's just moving in one direction. So eventually that's land that over the next couple of months might be gotten by Russia anyway. So do you want to fight and lose another 50, 60,000 people? Or do you want to do something now In some cases, the land is going in the other direction. So they're negotiating. They're trying to get it done. You want to have a border. You can't have a border that goes through a highway or a border that goes through the middle of a town.
Russia has overall been mum about the entire affair. The belief in Moscow is that negotiations should happen behind closed doors, especially like now when there is nothing concrete to offer or show the public. Now, the Russian foreign minister has also come out and commented. Mr. Lavrov, foreign minister, has said that there is an effort underway by Ukraine, by its allies in Europe, to undermine, to sabotage Trump's peace effort. They would much prefer different conditions. And the situation is that Ukraine, which is losing this conflict, which even Trump himself said publicly, has no aces. Is on the back foot and is hemorrhaging territory with no prospects of a reversal. Their critical manpower shortage, funding shortage, weapon shortage, they're all compiling. And it is just getting worse for Ukraine on the battlefield. And in these conditions, Ukraine is making demands and setting red lines that would befit the winning side in a conflict. And Mr. Lavrov says it is evident there is an effort to sabotage this peace deal, as there have been efforts to torpedo past negotiations.
The proposals to Trump's plan were leaked on purpose to inflate this hype in the media. They want to undermine Trump's efforts to reinterpret this plan in their own way. We have channels of communication with our American colleagues. They are involved, and we expect them to forward us the version that they consider to be coordinated with the Europeans and with the Ukrainians. If the spirit of Anchorage is erased, then of course the situation will be different. So far, we have not been handed anything officially.
The situation, again, is incredibly fluid. Things are developing very quickly. The media, the public are learning about certain details as they happen with regards to changes in the concept of this peace plan. The danger here is that the peace plan will change to a degree that, for example, Russia finds unacceptable. We've already heard the Speaker of the Ukrainian Parliament come out and say that this war will only end when Ukraine gets Crimea back, which, certainly isn't helping any potential peace effort. There's also claims by Zelensky, other Ukrainian officials, that Ukraine will join NATO, or Ukraine has the right to join NATO, which for Russia is a red line, that there won't be any demilitarization or anything else that Russia wants. They are attempting to dictate their terms, their conditions, to a Russia which is preeminent on the battlefield. So certainly the deal with which Steve Witkoff arrives in Moscow may not be one that Russia finds constructive.
And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.